Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. It's been about 2 weeks or so since my last one. Got a lot of good stuff here to talk to you guys about today. Also, my mom should be popping in with her guest reviews a little bit later on in this video. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to the Dorkening podcast. They're cool YouTubers that do these podcast videos. I'll have a link for their channel in the description box. Also, annotation here on the screen here for a couple of moments. Please go and subscribe to them. They do really cool videos. They talk about Redbox releases. They talk about movies. They talk about technology. They talk all about geeky stuff. That's why it's called The Dorkening. Make sure you guys check them out. Alright guys, first up here for my update today is from Shout Factory, and that is Witchboard here on Blu-ray. I've always been a fan of this film. This film spawned 2 sequels, Witchboard 2 and then Witchboard The Possession. This is directed by Tenney. This is his very first film that he made fresh out of film school, and this movie is pretty much about this lady named Linda and her boyfriend are throwing this party, and of course one guy comes to the party, an ex-boyfriend of hers, that brings a Ouija board. Everyone at the party starts messing with it, and of course, you know, half the people at the party don't think what's happening is real, but you know, we don't know if it's real or not, and of course something weird happens to someone's car outside, and then when the party's all over, everybody leaves, and the Ouija board gets left there, and Linda, she notices the Ouija board, starts playing with it, starts to get real obsessed with it, but as soon as she starts getting obsessed with it, different friends of hers are getting picked off and getting messed with, and oh man, this movie is just it's always been a lot of fun to go revisit, you know, every couple years. And you also on this Blu-ray disc here, you get a behind-the-scenes making of with Tenney and the stars of the film, talking about their experiences making this film today, you know, with new interviews and, you know, with them and stuff. It's about 45 minutes long. I thought it was absolutely entertaining to watch. You also get a vintage making of featurette on here, which they made back when they were, you know, actually shooting this film, like on the set and stuff like that. Definitely check out Witchboard if you guys are into like movies about Ouija boards and stuff. I've always kind of liked this one. Next up over here is Tenney's second feature film he did right after Witchboard, and that is Night of the Demons here on Blu-ray DVD combo pack here, the collector's edition. And it's pretty much about these 10 friends on Halloween night trying to find a place to go party and have fun. And of course they go into this abandoned house, and you know, stuff starts going down because that house is not quite right. You know what I mean? Different people start getting possessed. Certain people are getting picked off. This movie's always been a lot of fun. It spawned, I believe, 2 sequels and a remake. And the really cool thing is about this Blu-ray, guys, is that you get over an hour of behind the scenes talking about the making of this film with the stars like Linnea, Quigley, you know, from Return to Living Dead, Tenney, and all the other people involved in this movie. And I thought it was cool because you would never expect to get over an hour of a behind the scenes making of, you know, of Night of the Demons. You know what I mean? I would have never thought that would have happened, you know? You also get trailers and TV spots and stuff like that. But another really cool thing is about this Blu-ray is that you get a promo reel. Which is what video stores like Blockbuster or little family-owned video stores would get sent to them to see, you know, how many copies do they really want to buy of this movie to put in their store. You know what I mean? Like a little like promo reel of like, you know, like the hottest, coolest moments of the film, saying you can order this now. You know what I mean, for your store. Like, it's really kind of cool to see that, because that's the only kind of the only people that would ever see that are people that own video stores. You know what I mean, or something like that. I thought that was a really cool feature that they added on here. But another cool thing is about the Shout Factory Blu-rays is that you get inside here you get the reversible cover, which is this, you know, inside there. You know, if you want to, like, you know, change up this cover, you can just switch it around to this one, the old DVD cover, which I had from Anchor Bay for a long time. I've been a fan of the Night of the Demons movies, but make sure you guys should go check out this new collector's edition. If you're a fan of it, you won't be disappointed. Alright guys, next up from Universal is Machete Kills here on Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo pack here, starring Trejo, still directed by Robert Rodriguez, one of my top 5 favorite directors of all time. Been a big fan of his since Desperado. And then, you know, of course, Spy Kids movies. I like his style, you know what I mean? Because nowadays he pretty much makes his own movies in his own little studio, the Troublemaker Studios or whatever. And I just like his style of filmmaking. It looks like he has a lot of fun going out there making his own movies, you know? Even his very first film, El Mariachi, I believe, I forgot what year that one came out, but I really loved that. And I was happy that they put it in a double pack with Desperado when the Blu-ray came out. But I really like his style. It seems like he's just like a free spirit, like doing his own thing, like editing his own movies. You know what I mean? Making the music for half of his movies. But in this one, Machete is back with a vengeance. And then at the beginning of this one, Machete's girlfriend gets killed, and the President of the United States asks for Machete's help to find this guy that has this missile or bomb that's going to blow up Washington and go and stop him before, you know, the bomb hits, you know. And it's Machete's mission to get, you know, to stop him. But this movie's just a whole hell of a lot of fun. You get Lady Gaga in there, Charlie Sheen, Jessica Alba, Michelle Rodriguez, the cutest one of the bunch. How could I not remember her name right now? But this movie is just action-packed, a lot of fun. It's one of those movies that's just over-the-top action. Like, don't even try to think about how he got from point A to point B sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, he was on a boat, but now he's on an airplane, and now he's in a car. Like, how does this, you know, within like seconds and stuff, how does this happen? Turn your mind off, you know, when you watch a movie like this. I absolutely loved it. It's a hell of a lot of fun. But also on this Blu-ray disc here, you get deleted and extended scenes and a cool little making of. One of the only things I was disappointed about the special features is that in the last couple of Blu-ray movies that Robert Rodriguez put out, he didn't put his film school or famous cooking school videos that he used to make for some of his older releases, you know, like, come to my cooking school. Like, it was like a cool little special feature that Robert Rodriguez used to put on his Blu-rays and stuff. But check out Machete Kills. You get a really cool, like, the movie ends really cool, like, for the next one, Machete in space. You know, like, I love this corny stuff, you know what I mean? That's Machete Kills here on Blu-ray. Definitely check it out, guys. It's a whole hell of a lot of fun. Alright guys, next up from Sony is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 here on Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo pack here. I've always loved the first Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs movie about Flint Lockwood, a little boy that's grown up to always wanted to be an inventor until one day he creates this machine that you can pour water into and it makes food. But in the first film, that machine goes wild and like starts spewing out big pieces of food and shoots all over his little town that he lives in. And at the end of that film, he destroys that machine and, you know, saves the day. But in this part 2, it picks up right after the first one left off, and that machine's that, you know, still there, and now it's creating these food monsters. This food is becoming alive and roaming the earth, like, you know, Tacozillas and shrimp pansies, and, you know, just like a whole bunch of really, you know, inventive, you know, characters that they make for this film. And it's pretty much what Flint Lockwood's going to do to try to stop that from happening, you know what I mean? Because they don't want, like, killer tacos on the loose killing people, you know? So it's his adventure with his friends that you all come to know and love from the first one on the adventure to stop that machine from doing what it's doing. And I absolutely fell in love with it. Alright guys, but on this Blu-ray here, you get, of course, behind the scenes making ofs with the cast and the voice talent behind the film, talking about their experiences and how they love being a part of this franchise. Also, you get 4 mini movies on here, sort of like the Despicable Me, with like the Minions and stuff, but with Flint Lockwood and the different little characters that they have in this movie. Also, on this case here, if you scratch Berry, the strawberry here, it's a scratch and sniff berry. It's kind of cool. It brings me back to the old days of, like, you know, scratch and sniff, like, you know, crazy stuff when I was a kid. And also, my Blu-ray here came with this cool lunchbox, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 lunchbox. You open this up here, boom, and you get a strawberry, you know, little plush doll here, which I think is really cool. I'm not sure if it's going to be like an exclusive somewhere or not, but I think it's really cool, you know? But guys, I would definitely check this movie out if you guys have, like, kids at home, or if you just have, you know, if you're a kid at heart, you know what I mean? Definitely watch this movie. It's just a lot of fun, just like the first one was. Alright guys, next up from Paramount is Bad Grandpa here on Blu-ray. I don't know why I'm stuttering, I'm just being crazy right now. Starring Johnny Knoxville. This is the first Jackass film that doesn't incorporate the other Jackass members, you know, like Steve-O or Chris Pontius and all those crazy guys. This is the first solo film that, you know, Jeff Tremaine and Johnny Knoxville went to go make together, and it's pretty much about this this character that Johnny Knoxville created called Irving Zisman, 86-year-old man that's trying to transport his young grandson to his father that doesn't really want him, and eventually they go along the way. The wraparound story of Grandpa taking the kid across country is kind of weak to me, but it's all about the skits, the crazy stuff that they get into along the way. You know what I mean? That's the movie to me, you know? And it's a whole lot of fun. You're like them playing pranks on people out on the street. I thought it was a whole lot of fun. You also get to see Jill Kill in here for like a quick little appearance here during the pageant scene. You guys all know Jill Kill. She's been in a couple of my videos. She's really cool. But it's also really cool to find out that this film was nominated for an Academy Award. I would have never thought that a Jackass film would ever be nominated for an Academy Award, but it's being nominated for like Best Makeup, you know, for Johnny Knoxville here as Bad Grandpa, and Best Hair or something. I think that's really awesome, and I hope it wins, you know. But that's Bad Grandpa here, the unrated edition here on Blu-ray. Really, really funny. If you guys like the Jackass movies, you guys will dig this one. It's not as hardcore as the Jackass movies, like, you know, guys like, you know, doing bad things to each other, like sticking cars up their butts or anything like that. It's more of a tamed down version, but it's really still kind of funny to me. Part of the Jackass universe, and I always loved the Jackass films ever since I saw like the old stuff that Bam did called CKY. All those, like, you know, it was called DVDs that came out back in the day. I have all of them, like 4 or 5 volumes of it. But let's check out guys, Bad Grandpa here on Blu-ray. Really, really funny stuff, and I hope Johnny Knoxville and this movie win that Academy Award for Best Makeup, you know?
Hi, it's just me again, popping in real quick. There's some things I got this week. I believe they're all from Mill Creek, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm so glad. I have no idea that they were going to put something out like this. Anyway, my first one, and I just love it. I was so surprised. Seasons 1 and 2 of Bewitched. Now, of course, you're all out there going, what in the heck is Bewitched, right? It was a great 1960s sitcom. It was terrific. It starred Elizabeth Montgomery and Dick York, among other people. I mean, they had cameos with everybody from Jack Warden to, I can't even remember, just, you know, Paul Lynde, everybody. It was so great. But like I say, you know, it stars Elizabeth Montgomery and Dick York. They're a married couple, and she just happens to be a witch. Now, I was really surprised watching it again, since I hadn't seen it, you know, since it was on television in the 60s. And now, I know things are dated, but this one just really surprised me, because it started off with, the suburban housewife who was supposed to cook dinner and clean house and everything for her husband. And I'm kind of like, excuse me, what? You know, hey, women's lib movement and all that. And I was shocked that I didn't, you know, had no idea it was like that when I was watching it, obviously, because I was watching it during the 60s. But it's a great show, great sitcom, lots of great cameos of real, like, pop icons of the 60s. You know, it's so cool. You really should pick it up. It's in black and white. I know you might not like that, but it doesn't lose anything. It's just really, really terrific. Next up is Just Shoot Me, and that's with, you know, George Segal, Laura San Giacomo, David Spade. Unfortunately, I never really saw it on TV. I may have turned it on and seen 1 or 2 episodes, you know, one here, one there. So when I started watching it, I was really surprised. It's really very good, very entertaining. Another great sitcom. It just takes place in a magazine editing room, I guess you might call it. Laura San Giacomo is George Segal's daughter, who has just lost her job at a TV news station. So she ends up, and she hasn't seen her dad in years. Anyway, long story short, she ends up working for her dad, George Segal, in the, you know, editing room, or editing whatever, of a magazine. And the first couple episodes I've seen, I really enjoy it. Everybody in the cast is hysterical. And I'm sure those of you who have seen it, you know, when it was on TV, hey, pick it up. It's still the same great thing you remember. And next up, your favorite and mine, season 1 and 2 of Married with Children, you know, starring Ed O'Neill, Katie Sagal, Christine Applegate, David Faustino. This is great for me because I never knew about this program till I guess it was probably episodes and episodes and seasons into it, because when I got this pack of just season 1 and season 2, I can tell you I never remembered Ed O'Neill with hair, okay? But it was great. It's great. It's just as good, you know, back then when he had hair as to when he didn't. The original episode, I guess I can't remember if they called it the pilot or not, but of course it was the pilot. And it was just interesting to see how they were trying to work on their characters, because later, of course, with the ones that I remember, you know, Katie Sagal was a little bit harsher, and Ed O'Neill was a little bit, you know, sleazier, I guess, than they've been portrayed, at least in the season 1 and season 2 so far. I love this. It surprises me, because, like I say, I never saw the original, but I remember my kids, I think my kids would watch this, like, without end. Then they'd always call me, Mommy, Mommy, Married with Children is on TV. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that show is just so, oh my, it's so crass, because they call their daughter a whore, and oh my, what are they doing, you know? And it's just, I don't know, I just loved it. And just to see the original series from the start is really fantastic for me. So if I were you and you saw this out there, pick it up.
Alright guys, next up is You're Next here on Blu-ray. You guys saw me pick this one up in my last Hoarding Up video. If you guys haven't seen that video, check it out. It's the last video I uploaded. And I just wanted to give you guys my quick little 2 cents of what I thought about it, because I watched it the other day. It's pretty much about this whole family getting together for like this little reunion at their family's estate. And as soon as they all get there, all these crazy people wearing these masks are outside shooting bows and arrows at them and picking them off one by one. This film, I liked it, but it wasn't like super amazing to me, you know what I mean? It didn't feel like it was something, it wasn't anything fresh or new to me. It wasn't bad, but it kind of felt like Home Alone, but, you know, for a you know, home invasion kind of film. You know what I mean? Because there's like different traps that some people would set, like putting nails in a board and putting them next to a window. People would step on it, like, you know, how you would see in a Home Alone film, or like, you know, people putting something next to the door that's going to swing down, kind of like that. It kind of felt like a Home Alone horror movie, a little bit, you know what I mean? It wasn't bad whatsoever. It just didn't bring the scares to me at all. You know, very well filmed. The acting was very good. It just didn't bring the scares to me. That's all I wanted to say about it. If you're horror fans, definitely give it a chance. But that's You're Next here on Blu-ray. Next up over here from Disney is The Fifth Estate here on Blu-ray, DVD digital copy combo pack here. This is the movie about WikiLeaks, the website, and about the 2 people that created the website that pretty much put out secret government information out to the public, and you know, stirred up all this controversy. And this is the story of the people that made that website and all the trouble that they you know, got involved in. Starring Benedict Cumberbatch, who you guys all know from, you know, Star Trek Into Darkness. He was really good in this film. I really wanted to like this movie because the story was really, you know, really cool, because I found out about WikiLeaks by talking to other people, and I thought it was going to be like a really cool, interesting film. But going into it, the first 10-15 minutes were like, alright, like the opening sequence of this film was actually really kind of cool. But it's just, I don't know, it just felt kind of long and drawn out, and it just felt like one of those movies I'm watching, I'm like, okay, speed it up, please, you know what I mean? But it's totally worth renting if you know about WikiLeaks and you want to see the story about the guys that created the website and the, you know, all the stuff that they went through doing that. But I don't know. I just don't know how much rewatch value this movie really has to me. You know what I mean? But that's The Fifth Estate here on Blu-ray. It was just okay, you know? Alright guys, next up from Magnet is Bad Milo here on Blu-ray. Oh my god, man. When I popped this in, I didn't really know what I was really getting into. You know what I mean? Like, I heard about it, but I didn't really know how crazy and over the top this movie was going to be. You know? It's about this man named Duncan. His life's kind of in the shits at the moment. His job is kind of giving him problems. His boss is always like, telling him to fire people at his job, and you know, he's having like erectile dysfunction, and his wife wants a baby, his family wants him to have kids, and he's just like, oh God, like all the stress of his life is making him have these weird stomach pains. And come to find out, these stomach pains is Milo that comes out of his butt. And, you know, whenever he gets agitated or, you know what I mean, like just mad about his life, Milo comes out of his butt and commits murder. You know what I mean? He has like a little butt monster comes out and, you know, does this crazy stuff. And he tries to learn how to contain it and how to, you know, make sure Milo doesn't come out. And I don't know. I found this movie to be a hell of a lot of fun. I don't really want to say any more about this film. Over the top, cheese. All you guys out there that watch my videos that love like horror comedy, dark comedy movies will totally dig this film. It's one of those ones that has a high rewatch value to me. I can see myself watching this 1 or 2 times a year. My mom came in during one scene when Milo's trying to get back into Duncan's butt. I'm like, Mom, stop, check this out. I'm like, Mom, I'm watching a movie about a booty monster. She's like, what do you mean a booty monster? Yeah, there's a monster that comes out of this guy's butt, and then when he goes out and kills, he comes back and wants to go back in his butt. He's like, no, yeah, what did you say, Brendan? What? You know, she's like, yeah, check this out. And there was like a scene of Milo crawling back into Duncan again. I'm like, ugh, you know? But that's bad Milo here on Blu-ray. Can't recommend this movie enough, you know what I mean? Definitely go watch this one, guys. Alright guys, next up from Kino is Nightmare City here, directed by Roberto Lenzi. This is an Italian zombie film that came out back in 1980. I'm going to say zombie film because to me, they look like zombies a little bit and they act like zombies a bit. But in this film, it's about this airplane that comes in contact with radiation, and when it lands, it unleashes this bunch of radioactive zombie people going out and killing people and spreading throughout the city. And in this film, at the beginning of this film, there's this one guy, he's like a news reporter. He's on the scene when this airplane lands, and he's documenting this. And then he tries to tell everybody in the surrounding areas what just happened and what's going on. People are not really believing him. You know what I mean? And he's trying to save his girlfriend, because his girlfriend works at this hospital as a doctor. And it's pretty much him trying to get to her and try to figure out what's really going on in this whole, you know, mess here. I really like this film. It does, you know, feel just like Dawn of the Dead in some ways, like different little spots of it. The zombies don't look at all the same. They look like mud creatures or something, because all the radiation that hit them in their face. And in this film, the zombies can like drive cars and can like do crazy stuff that zombies couldn't do in like Dawn of the Dead or the Romero films. I really kind of enjoyed this film. It's one of those movies I think I've only watched once or twice in my life. So when I revisited this one, when I got it on Blu-ray, I didn't really remember it all that much. And I really fell in love with it. You know what I mean? It's not an amazing, life-changing film or anything, but if you're into like zombie kind of flicks, yeah, guys, I really did dig this film. Definitely check out this Blu-ray. The transfer quality is pretty damn good on here. Nightmare City, Blu-ray, check it out. Alright guys, next up from Millennium is Charlie Countryman here on Blu-ray, starring Shia LaBeouf, who you guys all know from the Transformers movies and the movie Holes, and Evan Rachel Wood in here. This film was pretty much about Charlie Countryman. At the beginning of this film, his mom passes away in the hospital. He's really down and out about it, and he's sitting in the halls of the hospital, and he gets this premonition from his mom. His mom, as a spirit, comes beside him and tells him, "You have to take a trip, Charlie." And she tells him to take a trip to, what was it, Bucharest or something, and he has to, to find himself. And he goes to Bucharest, and as he's on this airplane to go there, he meets this one guy that wants to, give a present to his daughter that he hasn't seen in a long time. But then something happens on that plane, and he has to go and find the girl that, the guy asked him to go find for the film, and a lot of craziness ensues from there. I was really kind of surprised by this film, by the performance of Shia LaBeouf, because I'm so used to him now as, like, the guy in Transformers, like that kind of, actor guy. But I always remembered him from one of his very first movies, The Battle of Shaker Heights, which Project Greenlight Season 2 produced and made. I forgot what year it was, like 2000 or something. And that's where I got to notice him and know who he was and actually really like him and stuff. But in this film, he did a really fantastic job acting in this one. He's a lot different in this film than you ever seen him before. But check out Charlie Countryman. It's a decent flick. Alright guys, next up here from Image is the Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy here on Blu-ray, the 2-disc collector's edition. I've owned this one when it first came out on DVD, the 2-disc edition DVD. I had to because my homeboy Jared Campbell from JLD Films here on YouTube is in one of the special features on here called Fred Heads, when they talk to like Nightmare on Elm Street fans and stuff like that, and the fandom of Nightmare on Elm Street and how people get like tattoos on them and stuff like that. But this is a documentary just like his name was Jason, from the people that made His Name is Jason and Camp Crystal Lake Memories. Why am I stuttering right now? I have no idea. The same people that made those documentaries made this one, and it goes deep, you know, talks in depth about the franchise and of each individual film and how much money it made, and you know, all the actors from each film talking about their experiences on the film. It's like 4 hours and 20 minutes long or something like that. Really in-depth stuff. I don't even know why I don't own the Camp Crystal Lake Memories Blu-ray yet. You know what I mean? It's one of those ones I'm like, why don't I own this yet? You know, I'm definitely going to be picking that one up soon. But if you're a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, this is a must-have, especially if you don't have that DVD that came out a year or two ago. Very, very cool, very in-depth. I absolutely love this documentary. Alright guys, next up is Blind Date here, starring Bruce Willis and Kim Basinger and John Larroquette. In this film, Bruce Willis gets set up on a blind date with Kim Basinger to go out on a business meeting, and he's told by his friends to don't let her drink, don't give her a drink, because if she drinks she goes absolutely crazy. And of course, he gets her drunk, lets her drink, and she goes absolutely nuts and tells him that she has an ex-boyfriend that's super crazy about her, that always follows her around. And that guy is played by John Larroquette. And this film takes place pretty much all in one night, and all their crazy adventures that they get along the way. Car chases, crazy boyfriends. There's no special features on this disc whatsoever, but it's a total blast from the past, you know what I mean? But check out Blind Date if you've never seen it before. It's a fun 80s flick. Alright guys, last up for my update today is Stonados here on DVD. Not Sharkano, Stonados. Yep. They made another movie with 8-O's on it, you know what I mean? Stonados. This movie is pretty much about these random tornadoes that come up out of nowhere over the city of Boston that have these big rocks, these stones that come crashing down to the earth. And then the beginning of this film is about this storm chaser guy that, you know, he's like a news reporter, weather guy that's infatuated with storm chasing, and his friend that's a high school teacher finding out about what's happening with all these storms to try to figure out how is this happening and why is this happening. But in the meantime, their kids are out on the streets, and it's them trying to find their kids before the Stonados come and you know, get their kids and everybody else that live in Boston. I found this movie to be really kind of a lot of fun. It's one of those ones that you would totally see like on the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that. And to be completely honest, I like this one a little bit more than I did Sharkano. I mean, Sharkano? Whoops, that's not a movie yet. That's a book. You can pre-order now. But, you know, Sharknado. And I really did like this one just a bit more than that. Sharknado has, you know, more over-the-top like cheesiness with the sharks and weird bad special effects. But so does this one, you know what I mean? It has bad effects, but it moves along. It doesn't, like, slow down, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like, oh, God, this is boring. It kind of, you know, it moves along, and it really kept my interest. The effects are kind of weak at some points, you know what I mean, with stones coming down doing their thing. But it's just a whole lot of fun. If you like end of the world kind of movies about tornadoes and stuff, definitely check this one out. I really did enjoy this one this afternoon. But if you guys are interested, check out Stonados. Alright guys, that's all I have to show you guys today for this Blu-ray DVD update today. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you guys like my videos. Also, check out the Dorkening podcast. I'll have a link for it in the description box. Check them out, they're cool guys. Alright guys, I'll see you guys all next time. Bye-bye.